Welcome everybody! In this episode I will cover the best camping locations for the following maps: Talsik Backlot, St.Petrograd, and Atlas Superstore. So let's begin. Talsik Backlot. Talsik Backlot has many decent places to camp. I say decent because they're not great, but enough to survive a good amount of waves. I'll highlight three since I have a lot to cover. First is the structure by the weapons store. This location has one entry for the ground enemies, and that's the ladder. What also slows the rush is the narrow corridor from both sides, which makes it easy to handle hordes of enemies trying to rush up the ladder. Some will try to climb up over the wall, which also gives you easy kills. If your weapons are loaded with high capacity belt, you should be fine. There are multiple openings to look out and defend the site, to even escape if needed. The location isn't far from the killstreak or equipment store, which provides a good amount of time to shop and return to your site before the next wave. The site is right next to the weapons store. You can conveniently shop, upgrade your weapons with plenty of time. There is a danger zone or spot to look out for when camping here, and that's somewhere along the wall by the weapons store. When a Wasp helicopter lands to offload the soldiers, it's the propeller blades that can injure or kill you instantly. So either shoot it down quickly before it lands or stay out of that spot. Unfortunately, it has no roof and plenty of openings, which leaves you vulnerable to enemy helos and ground troops, especially those hiding and sniping from the window across the shop. Since Season 6, there has been a significant increase of attack helicopters in the air, so the solution to the problem that I recommend is the Pila launcher. You only need 2 direct hits to take down the enemy helo. The Pila launcher has the ability to lock onto mechanical targets, and you can use it to take down juggernauts and large crowds as well. Just make sure you don't blow yourself up. So use with caution and make sure there's some distance between you and your target or wall. Find any weapon on the ground near you, swap it out with your secondary, bring it to the weapons store, and replace it when you buy the Pila launcher. Now you can swap between your secondary and Pila when needed. If you wish not to take on the helos, you can take shelter in the mini farmers market nearby. The next decent place to camp is the mini farmers market located right across. You can have 2 people taking turns defending the stairway, while the other 2 covering the windows to slow the attack. There is an open closet that you can use to stay out of harm's way to pilot attack helicopters and gunships. Lobbing lethal equipment down the stairway can cause great damage to the hordes of enemies since they're jam-packed trying to move up the stairway, especially in the later waves. You can place sentry guns next to the white icebox and have it face the stairs to distract and slow the enemy rush. Unfortunately, there is a danger zone at this site as well, and that's the corner by the fridge. The problem is the Wasp helicopter again. It tends to land by the destroyed tank, which the blades will cut through the walls and injure you in the process. So either look out for the Wasp and destroy it before it lands, or stay away from the corner. Another place to camp is the bike shop by the killstreak store. If you're by yourself, it is best to camp in the back. With another player or more, one player can cover the side while the other can focus on the rush coming through the front and stairway. player covering the front needs to make sure they have a lot of ammo and lethal equipment along with deployable covers for protection, especially in the later waves and suicide bombers. FMJ perk is recommended here. By shooting through walls, it will provide you cover from enemy attacks, including juggernauts, and gives you the opportunity to bring them down before they can get to you. Without the FMJ perk, you can still shoot through walls, but your bullets won't be 100% effective. When the hordes of enemies increase beyond wave 40, player covering the side can slow the rush by dropping cluster bombs to reduce the number of enemies. The back spot has a danger zone as well, and that's the corner where the Wasp helicopter lands to deploy the soldiers, so keep aware of that. St.Petrograd. St.Petrograd is one of the easiest maps to play in survival mode, in my humble opinion. The location is the restaurant between the weapons and kill streak store. The place to camp and defend is on the second floor where the kitchen is located. Enemies will rush up the stairway, and there are no suicide bombers in this map. If you are armed with high capacity belt weapons, particularly from the LMG class, while fully equipped with Molotov cocktails, you're pretty much a one-man gang, or woman. Juggernauts will get nervous and run from you when they realize you possess sorceress or Gandalf-like powers. There are multiple windows for other players to use to help defend the place. You can also exit and enter through the back after shopping at the Killstreak store as well. Climb on the garbage dumpster, walk across the plank, and into the window. For securing the stairs from enemy rush, there's really no perfect spot to place the sentry guns. I usually place one facing down the stairs while I prepare to shoot or lob lethal equipment to stop any enemies getting past the sentry gun. Atlas Superstore. If you have a full team of 4 players and looking for a challenge, this map is recommended. Heck, I think this map has the setting for a zombie mode. There's only one spot I can recommend to camp, and that's the manager's room.
Be advised you've got enemies inbound to your position.
The manager's room is small and is only fit for 2 players, or a maximum of 3, as enemies will rush up the stairway, which 2 players can take turns unleashing bullets to stop the attack. Third player isn't really needed, but can use the opening window to help get some kills and slow the rush. You can quickly jump out the window and fall without any damage to get to where you need to shop. There is a spot for the 3rd and 4th player to camp, and it's right below, behind the counter. Both players can load up on gear and use the counter for cover from enemy attack. Usually there's a split in enemies rushing in at 2 locations, so there's enough enemy attack and challenge for 2 teams. There are plenty of spots to place sentry guns to assist you for the later waves. For the team camping in the manager's room, I recommend placing them in the break room, lounge, or canteen to slow the attack. Avoid putting the sentry guns in the manager's room due to the limited space and suicide bombers. You really don't want them exploding in the room while you and your team are in there. For the team camping behind the registers, you can place sentry guns by the bench, facing out towards the direction of enemies rushing in, or in front of the opening pathway to slow the attack. The only issue with this map is that it's mostly indoors, which means aerial support won't be effective, but at least it can provide you some cover from enemy helo attacks as well. That concludes this video. See you in the next episode.